Hey gamers, it's G from the corner. Today we're going to be taking a look at Street Fighter 6, available on the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC. I'm playing on the PS5 version just to have it out there. And, you know, going into this game, I am a huge Capcom fan. I love almost all of their major franchises. I'm a big fan of Mega Man, Ace Attorney. I've dabbled in Resident Evil and Devil May Cry before, and I love the fighting games. I've played a few of them. Whenever I get the chance, I love checking them out. Never really been super into the competitive side of them, but I love the characters and the music and the story and all the aesthetic values of a lot of these games. Although I do enjoy some good casual matches of Street Fighter or Darkstalkers or something of the sort every once in a while. Now, with Street Fighter 6, when this game was announced, I was very excited for the game. I was like, okay, Street Fighter running on the engine the Resident Evils and Monster Hunters of recent years have been running on. This is probably going to be, I think Capcom is trying to kind of revitalize Street Fighter after the flounder of Street Fighter V, which is what everybody has said. I have not seen a single review or video about this game from anybody who hasn't been like, oh, Capcom really, man, the Street Fighter V launch killed my grandma. I hope Capcom can make up for it with Street Fighter 6, whatever. Okay, yeah, that game came out like 7 years ago, guys. Get over it. But, you know, we're back. We're here now, Street Fighter 6. Ever since the game was announced, every trailer has gotten me more and more excited. And now that we're finally here, let's take a look. Is Street Fighter 6 worth it? Have they redeemed themselves? So Street Fighter 6 is split up into 3 modes: World Tour, Battle Hub, and Fighting Ground. Let's get the smaller ones out of the way first. Fighting Ground is basically what you'd expect out of a Street Fighter or any fighting game experience, really. 1v1 matches, random and friend lobby online matchmaking, the arcade ladder mode, and even some special battle modes. This extreme battle mode with these fun and interesting gimmicks, you know? The Battle Hub, meanwhile, is more like the Arc Sysworks, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue lobbies where you run around and talk to people and get on arcade cabinets, which, granted, I don't like. But I think the Battle Hub, honestly, I tried it with a friend a few days ago, and honestly, it's pretty fun. All you really have to do is just go into a lobby. Somebody can literally find your lobby by just being like, okay, I'm in North America lobby number 477, and then they just get into the lobby and you guys are already having a good time. There's usually people to play with, and if you don't like it, you can just do the normal matchmaking anyway, so whatever. But World Tour is really the star of the show. This is what they wanted you to know about from the start. Fighting games and single-player content have always been kind of a hit-or-miss thing. I think that's probably the best way of putting it. There are some classic modes people will always talk about until the end of time, like the Subspace Emissary from Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which was this epic story mode event where you would play as all the characters from the game and you get to see them all interact with each other in these cool-ass cutscenes. But then you'll have people, nowadays, everyone's kind of just used to the Mortal Kombat Injustice way of watch a movie, then do a fight, watch a movie, then do a fight. And the movie kind of sucks. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really, like, they're fine casual modes, but I have no, like, genuine attachment to any of them, right? But Street Fighter 6 isn't doing that. That's what Street Fighter 5 did after like 3 months of updates. It's really weird. But Street Fighter 6, the World Tour mode, oh my goodness. They made an RPG. Essentially, Street Fighter 6 World Tour is an RPG. You make your own character with a pretty robust avatar creator that people have already kind of done some pretty messed up things with, and it's like you're playing Pokemon, right? You have your character, you get a rival guy named Bosch, and the main character, the main new fighter of the game, Luke, basically acts as like the professor. It's really weird, but you know what? After that setup, you're given this pretty open-ended area to explore. There's a ton of side quests. You can get these travel tickets to take you to other locations where you can meet the characters from the game, right? That's kind of the thing with this game. You can meet the characters from the roster, and you'll kind of get some like character moments with them to get to learn about them, and you also get to learn their moves to put on your avatar. So every time you use moves, you'll like level them up, and then you can go back to them and they'll be like, hey, you can use my special move. So you can have a character that has the fighting stance of Chun-Li with one of Cammy's and Blanca's special moves. It's kind of ridiculous. The avatars are pretty busted in that regard, but you could even go online and do like avatar on avatar fights. And it's not balanced whatsoever, but that's kind of the fun of it. You know, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's kind of something with a lot of the game's campaign, with a lot of World Tour, the game's campaign. It does that quite a bit. There's a lot of fights where you can't win them, or maybe you won't win them. And the game just says, whatever, it's fine. A lot of fights that I've done up until this point, maybe I'll play against one of the main characters or some strong opponent, and it'll be like, nah, no sweat it, you can't beat them, you know, that's what it is. You're gonna lose sometimes. It's kind of propaganda in a way. This whole game, you keep hearing the characters be like, you gotta get stronger, you gotta get on the grind, you gotta get better, right? It's as if they're trying to indoctrinate people into playing more fighting games, which is very, I mean, that's clearly what they want to do here. They really want to not bring in casuals. They want to bring in people who don't like fighting games and get them to like fighting games. This isn't like an, oh, let's make the game easier. This is, oh, let's make the game learnable. Let's make it look attractive to them. Here's all these characters you can interact with and all this fun, casual stuff. And we're going to keep mentioning that, hey, you know, you could put hundreds and hundreds of hours into the game and get an even richer experience out of that. It's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. A part of this whole casual appeal actually is there are alternate control schemes, right? You have the standard control scheme of most Capcom fighters where there's 3 punch and 3 kick buttons. There's a modern control scheme where instead you just have a light, medium, and heavy attack button, as well as a button that does special attacks. So you don't have to do any command inputs, although you can still do command inputs. And this really crazy one called Dynamic, where you literally just button mash and the game says, what's the best move for this situation? That's the move you'll do. It's ridiculous. Modern is the default one they set you up with. They want the casuals to know immediately that, hey, this control scheme is here and it's valid. It's not some assist mode or whatever, like Mario Kart steering or something like that. It's not easy mode. It is modern mode. You can use it. You're not an evil person for using it against somebody who's playing classic controls. There are inherent disadvantages to playing with modern over classic, but you know what? It's not too much to the point. I think it's pretty well balanced to the point where I don't think you're going to see people complaining, oh, this person shouldn't have been able to use the modern control scheme, they should have been stuck with classic. I guess I should get into the gameplay itself. I mean, I don't think I really need to describe the basics of a 2D fighting game to the people watching this. You play as a person against another person. You fight them. Health bar go down, boom, boom. I mean, there's like, you know, there's mechanics in this game, obviously, that differ from others. There's this drive mechanic where there's these moves tied to a meter. You can use a move that gives you super armor and acts as sort of a easy counter or whatever you want to call it. You can use it to do parries, like in older games. You can use it to up your special moves, like, you know, stuff like that, right? But like, aside from that, honestly, it's pretty bog standard fighting game, which is kind of fine, honestly. I remember playing 5 and all the time, this is probably gonna sound dumb to people who played the game, I would never remember how the V triggers work. It'd be like, okay, so you pick your character, okay, so what setup do you want? And it's like, no, I pick my character. Why do I have to pick all these different styles? And what do they even do? I don't know, you press the triggers and no, you gotta do like I was always confused about how it worked. I'm sure if I played the game for like 10 more minutes, I probably would have gotten it. But yeah, no, Street Fighter 6 doesn't have any of that. It's just, hey, here's how the burst mechanic, the drive mechanics work, and you're good to go. The fighting itself, the characters, you know, the movement, everything feels very fluid. I've had fun with every single character I've used so far. I'm really getting the hang of Cammy right now. I usually play her in most Street Fighter games. I also been playing a lot of Jury. She's super fun. I really enjoy playing Marissa as well. And I'm trying to think. I think I played a few matches with Ryu. And I for some reason, the only characters I really can't get a handle on are the charge characters like Guile and Blanca. I don't know why. In this game specifically, it feels like they really want you to hold back on the command inputs for like such a long period of time. But then again, if I really want to play Guile, I could just turn on modern controls and I don't have to worry about, I think you still have to charge actually. You have to like do the back motion, but I don't have to worry about making sure I press forward after long enough. I just can mash the special move button as I'm holding back. So, you know, there it is. Like, the game is just such an inviting experience. One of my friends, you might have seen her, she was the one losing her mind about Apollo Justice the other day on the channel. She hates fighting games with a passion. But I was with her and her boyfriend, we were playing some Street Fighter 6, and I was like, hey, why don't you give it a shot? Try the modern control scheme. And she was like, hey, for once, I actually get this. It's not 100%, it's not really for me still, but I understand why this is like pretty fun and I actually had a good time. So, Capcom, you did it. You got people to like Street Fighter again. You got people to like Street Fighter and fighting games. I can only hope this means great things. There's plenty coming to the game soon. There's going to be, obviously, all sorts of characters and post-launch support, which is apparently even going to tie into the story mode, which is super cool. But for now, the game is phenomenal. I highly recommend it. It's probably one of the best fighting games I have played in my lifetime. The only ones, like, maybe some of the Smash Broses are probably better. And, like, I don't know, I really like Guilty Gear. That's about it. Street Fighter 6 is honestly just such a high recommendation for me. Pick it up as soon as possible. But yeah, that's about it for this review. Keep yourselves cornered for more content like this, and I'll see you guys on the next one.